Hi guys, welcome to Logged In with Teacher Dorita. I'm going to show you today how to do the hotel voucher for Travel Services N4. So I've just copied this answer sheet from a previous paper. So this is what it will look like, your answer sheet in the exam. It's the basic information you have to fill in: passenger's name, the hotel name, the address of the hotel, the requirements, and so on. Usually it will look the same, but the blocks can be slightly different. But it's not something you should stress about. If you know what information to put in which block, then it doesn't matter where the block is because you understand what to do. What they sometimes do is here where it says full account, they don't give this extra block. So you just fill in the information within the same block. But that's about the strangest one I've seen. Most of the time, your voucher will look like this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so you can just see it with one look. There we go. Right, so where does the information come from that you have to fill in on the voucher? All of it is going to come from the question. So this is your question. It gives you some information at the top, and then it says refer to the hotel extract on addendum E and answer the following questions. So here is addendum E. It's all the information you need about the hotel, the Rexford Manor. It gives you the address, the email address, telephone number, and the rates. So you are literally going to take the information from the question, the addendum, and you're going to fill it in, literally copy and paste onto your voucher. The only thing you have to work out is the rate. The rest of the information, you're going to copy and paste it onto the voucher. Very important is that you fill in the entire voucher in block capital letters. So that's important, guys, because if you do not do that, they will subtract marks from you at the marking center. Maybe 1, or it can even be 2 marks, where the marker will say -2 for not filling in the document in capital letters. So please remember that. Okay, so how do we fill it in? You start at the top, you work your way through the information, and you fill it in line by line. The first thing that we see is it says Mr. J. Carney and Mrs. S. Carney will be traveling to Knysna. So we know that it's 2 people. He requested a double room. Double room is important. They will check in on 7 November, check out on 14 November. This gives us the amount of nights that they'll be staying. Okay. Mr. Carney will pay with his MasterCard. They give you the number and the expiry. And they also tell you on which date the booking was confirmed, 30 July, who confirmed it, Tandi, and the confirmation number. So this is basically all of the information for the client. Then the information for the hotel you get on the addendum, the address, the email address, and the telephone number. So in this specific paper, they only gave us 1 telephone number. A lot of times they will also give a cell phone number, they will give a fax number. But if they don't, it doesn't matter. You just fill in the information that you've got. You see, because on the voucher over here, it gives space for telephone number, fax number, email address. So we obviously don't have a fax number in this case. You don't make up your own or feel like you've got to figure it out. You just leave it blank. Okay. So just to go back to the question, in this paper, they added some theory questions. For example, differentiate between a city hotel and a resort. This is the theory that you guys have to study and know. The rest of the questions you answered from the addendum, so it's like a comprehension test. And then 5.2 is actually the one that instructs you to do the voucher. Complete the hotel voucher attached on addendum F. Right, so I'm going to show you now how to complete that voucher. I've just created my own one in a Word document so that I can type. Right, so I've pre-filled some of this just for it to be a bit more clear. The first thing you have to fill in is the passenger's name. So you will see that I've filled it in here, Mr. J. Carney. You won't put both names there, even though two people are traveling. The rule is that the passenger's name will usually be the person who is paying. And they said to us, Mr. Carney will pay with his MasterCard, right? So, Mr. J. Carney. You must also remember it must be in capital letters. Number of persons. So, guys, a lot of times when we mark TSN4, then students write the telephone number of the person here. No, that's not the telephone number that we want. We want to know how many people will be traveling. So in this case, it's 2 people. So you can write the word 2 or the number 2. You can choose. You'll get the mark for either one of those 2. The next thing is the name of the hotel. So you'll remember that on the information, it said Rexford Manor. You fill in the name like that in capital letters, as well as the address. What's important is that you fill in the full address, even the area code, 6570. If you do not fill the area code, or you leave out the number of the street or the city, you will not get the mark. So we usually mark the voucher per block. Okay. The next thing they want is requirements. So guys, requirements will always be about the room. Right, the next thing that we're filling in is the telephone number, the fax number, and the email address. But you know now that they only gave us a telephone number, they did not give us a fax number. So the telephone number was 044 384 0597. So I've obviously got my memo right here next to me, guys. It's just so that I don't have to jump from screen to screen. They didn't give the fax number, so you just leave it blank. You don't have to make up your own or anything like that. And then the email address was also given to us in the information of the hotel. Now, this one, you'll get the mark whether you fill it in capital letters or small letters. Examiners and markers are always saying it's because caps and small letters matter with email addresses. But that actually hasn't been the case for about 20 years, but it doesn't matter. You'll get the mark whether you fill it in caps or small letters. So the email address was info@rexfordmanor.co.za. So you can do it like that, or you can do it in caps. You can choose. Right. Next one was the date of arrival. So the question said to us that they will be checking in on the 7th of November. So you fill in your date of arrival. And they will be checking out on the 14th of November. You can write out the name of the month, or you can just write the abbreviation or the code, NOV. You can choose, you'll get your marks for that. And then the important thing here with rate is you have to show the full calculation of the rate. You also have to calculate your nights correctly, guys. This is very important, okay? So remember, the amount of nights is how we calculate in accommodation. You don't count the days, you count the nights. So I've just done a little calculation for you here at the bottom. If they are checking in on the 7th and they are checking out on the 14th, it gives us 7 nights, because you must ask yourself, are they sleeping? So are they sleeping on the 7th? Yes. Are they sleeping on the 8th? Yes. The 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, they are sleeping? Yes. But on the 14th, they are not sleeping. They are checking out. So probably on the 14th, they're going to have to be out of the hotel at 10 o'clock in the morning. So they don't sleep the evening of the 14th. And that's why it is only 7 nights, right? How much do we charge? So the only way for you to know is to look at your addendum and to check what was the rates given to you. So here on the addendum of the hotel, if you go down, you will see the rates. So they've got a rate here for a single room, which is not what we want, because remember, it's Mr. and Mrs. Carney. So we need the double room, which is 1,500 Rand per room per night. This is important because if it was per person per night, you would have needed to charge 1,500 per night for Mr. and 1,500 per night for Mrs. But because it's for the room in total, we just have to take that 1,500 and multiply it with the amount of nights that they are staying. So I've done it here for you. You take your 1,500 times 7 nights, gives you a total of 10,500. And you have to show me the full calculation in the rates block. Just like that. 1,500 times 7 nights equals 10,500. Then you'll get the mark. If you only write 10,500 Rand, you do not get the mark. Okay, that's important. Right, we're almost done, guys. I know it feels maybe like it's taking long now, but I just wanted to do it really properly so that you only have to watch the video once and then you'll be okay with your hotel voucher. Right, so the bottom part of the hotel voucher, it's all about the payment, who's settling the bill, how are they settling the bill, who confirmed the booking, and all of this type of information. Right, so the first block that says account, here you've got 2 options. If they're paying with a credit card, you write the word credit card. If they're paying cash, you write the word cash. Usually the examiner will not make this payable with cash because the examiner and the markers, they want to see that you know what to do with credit card details. So in this case, we know that Mr. Carney is paying with his credit card. You simply write the word credit card in block capital letters. Full account. What does this mean? Really what they're asking you is the client responsible for paying the full account? And your answer in the block next to it is always going to be yes. Of course, they have to pay the full account. They can't just pay half. This is not a corporate client, so the company is not going to pay for him. We'll never give you an example or a question like that in the exam. The person is always going to have to pay the full account. Does this person, Mr. Carney, have to settle the extras direct? Yes, he's got to settle his extras. What could extras be? He ordered room service, he bought a movie to watch, he ate all the M&Ms in the minibar, in the fridge. The things that costs money during his stay that he has to settle at the end. He broke the lamp. Yes, he's got to pay for the lamp. Okay? So those two, your answer will always be yes. Right. Now we come to the confirmation information. It says reserved by, the date, confirmed by, confirmation number, and date. Right, so the first one here is asking you, who did this reservation for Mr. Carney? Who reserved the booking for him? Who booked the hotel for him? And this is the travel agent. And in the case of Travel Services N4, you are the travel agent. It means that you will write your own name in this block. So my name is Dorita. I'm going to write my name here because I did the booking for him. I reserved the booking for Mr. Carney. Okay. The date. Now, sometimes they give you the date in the question. They will say, you reserved the booking for Mr. Carney on the 30th of November, or whatever the case might be. But they don't usually do that, and that's why for the date here, we always use the date of the exam. So you are writing Travel Services N4 on the 24th of November, and it means that if you get a voucher, you're going to write 24 November. This does not make sense when it comes to the dates because date of arrival is 7 November, date of departure is 14 November. Don't worry about that, okay? It doesn't matter. It's just to teach you and to see if you know what information to fill in where. So your date here will always be the date of the exam. Right. Who confirmed the booking for us from the hotel? Because someone had to let us know when you reserved the booking. Someone had to let you know that, yes, we've got space. We do have availability. You are welcome. Your booking is confirmed. So this information was in your question. Over here, the booking was confirmed on the 30th of July by Thandi, and they give you the confirmation number. Right, so you have to go and fill that in on your voucher. Confirmed by Thandi. Confirmation number was RX005MN. And confirmation date was also given to you 30 July. Do you see I'm still writing everything in block capital letters? Okay. We've got one more thing to fill in. This is the remarks. Okay. So this specific paper, it didn't have any special requests or any weird things that we had to note. But under remarks, this is the place where you'll put in if the customer requested a non-smoking room, a room near the lift, a room with a sea view, a room on the ground floor. Maybe they've got kids that want to play outside. Any special request needs to be noted under remarks. Late arrival is a very popular one they use in exams. So anything like that, you need to put it under remarks. And also the credit card details. So they gave that to you in the question. You fill in your credit card number here, and you also have to add the expiry. Guys, I'm just putting random numbers now, so I don't have to go and look at what the numbers were. Expiry was the 12th of 2026. So your method of payment, in this case, basically credit card, it has to be on the voucher. You can also put the credit card details under the account block. But most of the time, students use the remarks one just because there's more space. So let me quickly show you what your answer sheet looked like for the exam, for a previous exam. Do you see on this answer sheet that the account block, it's just a block, there's not a lot of space, but remarks, it has a bit more space. It's a longer block. And really, this is the only reason why you get to also write your credit card details under remarks, because the actual space for it is under account. But you'll get the mark whether you show it under account or under remarks, as long as you show it. That's important. So by the end, when you are done with your voucher, it looks like this. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. Ooh, almost. So my space isn't quite enough, but you can see the whole voucher is filled in. Everything is in block capital letters except for the email address, which is fine. You'll get your mark. And this is it, guys. It cannot be really any different. Just different will be if it's one person traveling, then the number of persons will be 1, and your requirement will be 1 times single room. That's the only difference. Okay, so I really hope that was helpful. The hotel voucher is usually asked in the exam for anything from 10 to 15 marks. This can be the difference between just passing and your distinction. So make sure that you know how to fill in your hotel voucher. It's really not difficult. Just focus on writing in caps all the way till the end. And I'm sure you will do really, really well with your hotel voucher. Okay, guys, that's it for the voucher. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Please remember to click on like. Please, guys, click on like and click on subscribe, and keep an eye out for my next video where I will quickly go through the client profile with you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.